That's what I'm tripping. I smell somebody. We gotta go and plug the fish tank. This one on the right, cord on the right. This one buffering. I don't know what's going on. Let's see.
No, it is 0 horizontal.
Just lock your berry with us for 1 second. Somebody check my feet on mine. Check the feet on mine about. Huh?
Go ahead, check mine out.
Go to the videos. It's crazy work, bro. The audio video not available. Are you serious? Let me do this over again, man. Bear with us for 1 second. Technical difficulties. Goodness, bro.
China is not doing what America is doing.
One second. That's literally never happened before. I don't know what's going on with this thing, man. It's a good thing, no more. You're really showing somebody jacked it. Bear with us for 1 second.
Yeah.
All right, let's try it now. All right.
All right, here we go. This is what
The life of a soldier is not just a job, it's a calling and a sacred tradition passed down from father to son, brother to sister, and one generation to the next. At every hour of danger, our noblest citizens have answered that call. Time and again, our enemies have learned that if you dare to threaten the American people, American soldier will chase you down, crush you, and cast you into oblivion. The last sound you ever hear will be the killing hour of Black Hawk.
This is the peace president, I'm told, so I would hate to see what a war president would look like. Despite the whole peace through strength Orwellian thing, we get that. Let's hear what else he has to say.
Thunderous boom of artillery fire, of the ferocious roar of a U.S. Army infantry brigade.
The musical score is epic. The visuals, not so much. I could have done this a lot better.
Our adversaries is no greater fear than the United States Army. Now it's your duty to shield the flame of freedom that was first lit 250 years ago by the heroes of Concord Bridge and Bunker Hill. Standing before you today, I am more confident than ever that in the days ahead and every generation to come, the U.S. Army will heap glory upon glory. You will protect every inch of U.S. soil, and you will defend America to the ends of the earth.
Wow. You don't have to like the guy, but man, that was one hell of a speech. And production. I don't even know if the speech is new, but this video is new. Trump released this triumphant call to arms today on his True Social account. The timing, of course, is incredibly sus, considering the fact that it appears as though they're evacuating embassies in the Middle East. Now, I already did a video on what's going on in the Middle East today, so go watch the previous one if you want.
This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, and verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
Call halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakadash, which has given all praise to the Most High, in name of His only begotten Son, in name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to our teachers who taught us His truth and sincerity. The elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us His truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to the 144,000. We the brothers from the prophets in Babylon camp down here in Tampa, Florida. My name is Ibar. Next to me,
Brother Moan.
and as you see in this clip, man, okay, this fiery clip right here, Trump dropped on his True Social website, 7 days ago, you know, when he had his military parade, which not many people showed up to. But this shows you that, you know, this man is getting ready for war. When he came into office, he said he was going to be the peace president, but he's everything but, okay? And I love when they wear white. As you see, his hat is white. He's red, okay, because he's an Edomite. All right, but this has always been the spirit of Esau to, you know, go to war. Their blessing was the sword. So what Esau and, you know, America, Trump is doing is they're showing you who they are, if you're paying attention. Okay, because now this whole thing with Iran, which they're saying in the next couple of days, he's going to announce that they're at war with Iran, you know, and things are going to escalate into World War III, okay? But this whole, you know, video that he put up was a propaganda for war, which you got, you know, these new war movies coming out. It's all propaganda to get you to send your sons and your daughters off to these wars to die, okay, in foreign lands, okay? So, you know, this video right here was just a bunch of propaganda, but it's the spirit that America is going in. It's going into war, okay? At any moment now, Trump can announce that we are at war with Iran because of the things that's escalated with Iran and Israel. All right, so you can bring that back.
This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
Yeah, the pride of thine heart. Start at verse 1 of Salakia Baba Kashon.
This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, concerning Edom.
Concerning Edom, which is these Edomites. Trump is an Edomite, okay? These Americans, these, you know, MAGA folks, you know, which is Jake in there too, but, you know, for the most part, they're Edomites, all right? And they're rallying behind Trump for death, because that's all it's going to bring to America. Okay, we understand the prophecies. The prophecies that America is going to be destroyed in World War III, and the closer we get to World War III, the closer we get to America's destruction.
Yeah, if I may add, America's just a ticking time bomb. You know, it's just crumbling and crumbling and crumbling. And this right here just shows that this devil is getting, backed against the wall, all right, to retaliate, man, at this point. You know, he's got to show that wickedness eventually. Okay, he has to show his horns eventually when it comes to him have to, stand on his word. Okay, when it comes to this war that's going on with Israel and Iran.
Right, and then Israel is they're pushing the bar. Trump is saying, oh, we didn't agree with this, we didn't agree with that, but Israel is going out there and doing what they want to do, and then turning around and telling America that you got to help us. So that's the least of the flock drawing them out. We'll bring that out too. But right now the spirit is saying war, 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 because that's where this is all going. Okay, this is going into World War III. Okay, and as we which it ain't gonna be tomorrow that America's nuked, but pretty soon we still have prophecies that still got to be fulfilled first, like the MOTB, Jacob's Trouble. But that just means that these things are going to speed up, especially as we come into a wartime. When we come into a wartime, there is no rights, there is no constitution, all that's suspended. You're in a wartime country, and when you're in a wartime country, it's really black and white. Get down and lay down. You're gonna have military troops in the street. That's why Trump deployed the Marines for those protests in LA. Okay, that's a precursor to what they want to do all over America, where they have the Marines and these different militaries, the UN troops, you name it.
Yeah,
They're gonna be on the streets.
yeah, patrolling the streets.
Right.
Making sure they're doing their part on that left hand side. When this devil does that, because all it really is just a foreshadow of what he really wants to do.
Right.
You know.
And that's why he was telling the president of El Salvador, you're gonna have to make some more prisons for homeborn terrorists,
Yeah.
homeborn criminals. So he's about to get ready to start throwing people into these internment camps. Go ahead.
It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, concerning Edom, and we have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent among the heathen.
And right now we're hearing about the rumors of wars, as well. If these things are intensifying and getting worse. These are all the rumors of wars. All right, things are going to get much more, wicked here in this country, man. Go ahead.
And you see with Trump, he's boasting and having much pride in his military power, showing how much, of how strong his military is. And it just shows you, these devils really just try to bully these other countries and make them scared. All right? Because you had it with an article I was just reading on. It was saying how, Trump even said it himself. We can't allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. All right, so it's either they surrender and, and not, not be able to defend themselves, all right, or we gonna destroy you, just like that.
Right.
All right, it's like a bully, man.
And Israel been saying that for since the 80s that Iran has, which it was always going to end up with Iran. Look what they did to Afghanistan, Iraq. They tore that place. So it was always going to come back to Iran. You see, so now that we're they done already went through Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq. The last plot on the table was Iran. So they've been saying that Iran has weapons of mass destruction or nukes. Same thing that Bush was saying about Iraq before they sent, and there was never any weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
They came out of there with gold and that poppy seed, man, to make opioids. Okay, that's how America got rich. They go in and they rob and pillage these other countries.
Right.
But this whole thing with Iran, Israel does not want Iran to have nuclear missiles so that they can bomb them. Israel does not want Iran to have missiles because they're a threat unto them with missiles. So they don't want them to have nukes. And if Iran is in a tough situation right now, because if they was to give up their nukes, Israel is going to bomb them. Look at what Israel has done to Gaza. Those are war crimes, man. These people are the devil the Bible speaks of, and they're going to show you they're the devil. And if you think they'll do that to some towel head niggas, imagine what they're gonna do to you niggas here in America.
Exactly.
It's gonna come full circle, man. But go ahead.
It goes on. It says, "We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen.
Mm-hmm.
Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen."
Right. The Lord has made Esau small among the heathen. Out of all the heathens, Esau is the smallest nation. But they'll tell you that they're the majority and we're the minority. No, they're dying in greater numbers than they're being born. I did a video like a month ago about how Trump is considering paying these Edomites to have babies. Somebody he'll pay them $5,000 to have babies. And if they do have babies, they're gonna be these women. Their women are having babies with Jake. You know, so the Lord has made this man small among the heathen. He is you know, a non-factor when it comes to numbers. Okay, but because he has the blessing, his power, and the Lord put him in power, this is why he's reigning the way he's reigning. Go ahead.
It says, "Thou art greatly despised.
Mm-hmm.
The pride of thine heart have deceived thee."
Right, and right now Esau is being found out. Scripture says, how I go roughly paraphrasing, the wicked is being revealed.
Oh yeah.
You know, so Esau is being found out. Everybody's talking shit about the small hats. Everybody's pointing the finger at Esau. Right now, he's being put under, you know, the microscope, and everybody's realizing that this is the devil. This is the wicked.
And you know, he's starting to realize that since everyone's realizing that, he has but a short time. All right, so these devils are going to start, you know,
later.
coming down with great wrath upon Jake.
Right.
All right, great wrath upon everybody. You know, Esau's a devil, man. All right, if he can't win, nobody will.
Right.
You know, so ultimately his objective is if he can't get it, he's going to destroy the whole earth. You know, in the process.
Right.
That's why the Lord's got to come back and save, you know, his elect.
Right.
You know.
Hey, and one of his major, you know, tools was deception. That's why he called himself white. What you see his hat is white. He's not white. He's red, and he called us black. Okay, that's the covering cast over the people. You know, they changed the name of these people to something different in the Bible so that they can continue to deceive and control. But now that he's losing, you know, the power through that deception, what he's gonna do? Now he's got to go back and revert back to that sword. That's how he got everything, through the sword.
Yeah.
Right. And he's going to continue to show that, all right, as we, you know, see this devil continue to be more involved in this war. You know, he's gonna show you the more as when they keep kicking off with you know, with these illegal immigrants. All right, with all these protests and riots popping off in the streets, he's gonna continue to show, you know, as Scripture says, him being accustomed, all right, to doing evil, man.
Right.
You know,
Well, just like what happened with that tweet he came out with, he came out and said how we have gained control of Iranian airspace. What do you mean we? I thought this was between them and Israel. So Americans realized they got duped.
Right.
You thought you were gonna get peace, thought you was gonna get gas prices going up, bro. Within the next couple of weeks or days, gas is about to skyrocket because no gas is gonna be coming in from that region.
Exactly.
Gas is about to skyrocket. It's gonna be $15 just for a gallon, if not $20. And then pretty soon there's gonna be no gas.
No gas at all.
Okay, so the Lord is really about to speed this thing up, man. All right, and we see it clear as day, but most people don't see it. The majority of people, they're lost. They think it's a game.
Hey, you see how, you know, a hurricane will come down here in Florida, and people will go to the gas station and try to get stock up on the gas, and they be trying to kill each other over that. You know, so imagine when there's no more gas around the whole America, man. All right, and prices are going up, you know, skyrocketing. Jake is gonna lose it, bro. People are gonna lose it, and they're gonna start killing each other. You know,
Right.
just over gas, man.
Right.
So imagine famine, no food. You know.
You know what I noticed too when that whole hurricane thing happened. You had there was no gas. There was no gas. So what happened? People was literally waiting at the pumps and the lines, waiting at the pumps and lines, and you had to have it where you had these gas tankers being escorted by the police. That's how much of how serious it was. These tankers had to get you know, by the police.
Yep, escorted.
They had police escorts to get to the gas station so they can fill the gas, because people was getting it, you know, violent. It was getting irrational, and this is what's going to happen as these Americans are clapping and waving their American flags when they come to find out that you ain't finna eat soon. You ain't gonna have no gas. Everything about to get cut. It's about to be bad out here, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people in America are about to die, and they do not know it. Okay, they have no idea what's coming. But that's why the Lord set the that's why the Lord set the men of the Lord up to come out here and warn you, speaking to our people first and foremost. Repent. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. The Lord is about to destroy this place. After that, you can't say you ain't know. All right, that was it on that.
That's a quick one.
Hold on, let me finish this up real quick, and you can go ahead.
It says, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
And that's what they're doing right here. They thinking that nobody can take them down. They thinking that America is going to be, this mighty power forever. No, the Lord is done with America. Scripture says how Babylon was a golden cup in his hand. The Lord used America for what he needed to use it for, and which was a part of our punishment. Now the Lord is about to reward us and destroy America. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
And that's what the Lord is about to do to this place. He's about to bring it down. So they don't realize that all them people you see on the screen right here, they're about to get sent off to die. They're not coming back, man. They're not going to be in a box with a folded flag on top of it. No, they're going to die where you lay. Where you lay at, or where you died is where you're going to lay at, man.
Right.
All right? They're going to be turned into topsoil over there. People could just going to be, their bodies are going to be breaking down. Okay? And then over here, it's going to be worse.
Yeah. Hey, and if I may add too, it doesn't matter how much this devil set his nest upon the stars, man. This devil could have all these things set up. Okay, he sounds like he can have it all set up, but at the end of the day, his control that he has is limited, man. Okay, no matter what he takes precautions to, keep things to go the way he wanted, it's all gonna always go the way Yahweh Shai has set it up according to his will.
Hey, the beloved brother, the beloved elder brother, the brother Kazak did a video where it was over there, with that whole conflict with Israel and Iran. They were shooting missiles, and a chariot stopped the missiles. Yeah,
it shows you.
It was the Lord in control, man.
Yeah.
That's why we don't fear. We're not worried about it, man. We're not. Oh my God, we out. No, because we know who was doing all this.
Yeah.
And that's the power we have. Scripture says, "Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times." This is what's going to keep us stable, knowing Yahweh Shem Yahushai, praying to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, doing the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. When everybody else don't know what's going on, freaking out, bugging out, losing their mind, shitting their pants, we going to be calm and collect, okay? Right. We knew this was coming. We was praying for this day to come.
Yeah, and it was beautiful because even as the brother was pointing to it, that happened multiple times, man. So it just shows you that the Lord is in control of what he, allows, what plays out on this earth or whatnot, man.
Right.
You see? And Esau doing this right now, as you can see, he's rounding up his troops, okay, getting ready for this war and whatnot. It's only going to get worse from here, man. These American people think themselves, be at a stable mind right now. They can still go grocery shopping.
And the pride of their heart had deceived them because they think they're in control.
Right.
They think they're in power. They think they're calling the shots. They think that they're putting fear in people. No, the Lord puts fear in these nations to fear America. And now the Lord is taking that fear away, and it's what the weak is now saying, "I am strong," because they got missiles too.
Right.
Well, go ahead, bring it up.
It says, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, reading in verse 3. All right, in the NLT it says, when people are seeing everything is peaceful.
Read it in the KJV first.
And this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3 in the KJV. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them.
And Trump has been in the office for what, 6 months now? A little under 6 months, 5 months. He's talking about he's gonna be the peace president. You don't see no peace, okay? Something's gonna happen. What this is all gonna they're gonna escalate it, and it all might die down. And they're gonna say peace and safety. Everybody, we were safe, and then something's gonna happen where it's gonna swoop, go right back up. And then it's gonna be missiles in the air, man. Yeah. Okay. So we understand the prophecies. That's what gives us the heads up to what's coming.
Yep. the tension between these countries are going to continue to linger on. Even if it does die down, there's still going to be tension, throughout these countries until ultimately, World War III breaks off, man. Because ultimately, that's a prophecy, in the scriptures.
Hey, grab that article I put in the chat earlier too about Russia warns U.S. about Iran, something like that.
It says, continuing as travail upon a woman with child,
Mm-hmm.
and they shall not escape.
Mm-hmm.
So just like a woman, all right, giving in birth, man, all right,
Yeah.
to a child, it's not going to slack when it comes to these things.
Yeah. If a woman is pregnant and about to go into labor, she can't escape that. She got to face that. Them birth pains ain't gonna go back down. No, it's gonna get more and more intense until it's time for the baby to be delivered. And right, that the baby being delivered is symbolic for Yahweh Shai coming back. Okay, that's when the Lord cracked the sky. It's going this thing is climaxing to the point where the Lord's gonna crack the sky, and then voila, nukes are coming. Okay, that's it.
Did you want that NLT?
You can bring NLT.
God, just getting straight to the point. 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 3 in the NLT says, when people are saying everything is peaceful and secure,
Mm-hmm.
then the
And that's what Americans are looking for things to be peaceful and secure, for things to go back to the way they was in, 2005. It's what people are looking for. All right, this is what they have in their mind and their hearts, that it's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay for America. Go ahead.
Then disaster.
Then what?
Then disaster.
Then disaster. Can you grab that word disaster in the etymology line? Because when you go into these words, it paints a vivid picture of what's coming. It said disaster. You know what disaster is? Go ahead.
This is the word disaster. It says that anything that befalls of ruinous or distressing nature.
Distressing nature. And people are going to be stressed. They're already stressing about the gas prices, the cost of living, the food prices. You ain't stressed about nothing yet, okay? It's about to get very, very bad. Go ahead.
It says any unfortunate event, especially a sudden or great misfortune.
A great misfortune, and it's going to be unfortunate for America when these nukes in the air, Suddenly shall this place be destroyed. Okay, in 1 hour, the Lord's going to rain fire upon America, man.
That's right.
Okay, and it's inevitable. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do to get away from it. You can't, it's going to happen. Go ahead. All right.
It
go
says,
ahead.
then disaster will fall on them as suddenly as a pregnant woman's labor pains begin. And there will be no escape.
And there will be no escape, man. All right? It's going to be no escape. The time we come into, it's in I put in there too, but we'll go to our group chat. Yeah, there's going to be no escape, man. If you don't have Yahweh, the only escape there will be is through Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and the Lord is only coming to deliver the elect of Israel. So there is going to be no escape for your average peon, Edomite, these other nations, and even the majority of our people. They're going to be caught up in this, and you're going to die in this. Go ahead.
That's right. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 6.
Grab the whole thing real quick. Let's get some more on that.
Okay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do this right here. All right, this is book of Matthew's chapter 24. I'll start at verse. Where you want me to start it up?
We'll use that 6. Go to. Okay, you start at 6.
Verse 6. Come on. It says, Matthew 24, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
Right, that's what we're hearing. Of wars and rumors of wars. They acting like it's going to be nukes in the air tomorrow. From what we're hearing, from these rumors that we're hearing. But we know better than that. We know that through prophecy, this thing is going to, it ain't going to be tomorrow. Okay? But it ain't going to be in 1,000 years either. It ain't going to be in 30 years either.
Hey, well, that's what the scripture says. Though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely come.
It will not tarry.
It will not tarry.
Which means to delay. It's not going to delay much longer. The Lord has spoken, and it will be done.
Like you said, the Lord's going to speed up the times for his elect.
That's right.
It says, See that ye be not troubled.
Right, and everybody else is troubled. They're freaking out. They're losing. Oh my God, we're going to war. We got to get prepared for war. We're not troubled. Go ahead.
For all these things must come to pass.
This must come to pass. This has to happen. This has to play out the way it's about to play out. Okay, there is no running, no hiding. This thing must go out the way it's going to go out. We're going to play this again. But go ahead. That's it.
A little bit more. It says, but the end is not yet.
Right, the end is not yet. So, hey, we still got, prophecies got to, to go through. We still got things we got to see, things that has to happen, but it's all through the Spirit because this thing, the ball is moving. All right? Once you start hearing about them, bring it out. Once you start hearing about them in Iran, and the moment Iran started getting brought up, we knew what time it was.
Mm-hmm.
We almost out of here, bro. And call Halal,
Yahweh,
Ba'Hashem,
Yahushai,
Ba'Hashem, Kakadash for that, man. Because we not having a good time here. We don't like it here in America. We hate it here. Okay? We want to get the hell up out of here. We ready for our kingdom to be established on earth. But we ain't got to sit up here and be in subjection to these peon Edomites. These
right.
punk ass crackers. They ain't even got beards on their faces, man.
Right.
You know? Your military is full of trannies.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation,
Mm-hmm.
and kingdom against kingdom.
And you seeing that now with these nations, they're divided. They're throwing words back and forth and making threats back and forth. These nations are divided. Okay? It's only a matter of time before they start really throwing projectiles at each other. And I'm not talking about no regular missiles, man. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be nukes on the missiles. Okay? Go ahead.
And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places.
Mm-hmm. So these are all the signs,
Mm-hmm.
okay, of the times that we're in. Go ahead.
Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrow.
This is just the beginning, okay? You hear about the earthquakes, the pestilences, the diseases, and it ain't really even kicked in yet like that, but these are just the beginning of sorrows, man.
Mm-hmm.
Great misery is coming to this place. Mm-hmm. And the only ones who gonna be able to crack a smile is the men of the Lord.
Right.
Okay? That's the only ones. Like because we the ones that's crying now. Everybody laughing. We the ones that's crying. But now pretty soon we gonna be the ones laughing and they gonna be the ones that's crying.
Mm-hmm.
Sit on that?
So
Go ahead.
this is
Go
second
ahead and play
Ezra
this back.
16 and verse 17 says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings,
Mm-hmm.
the beginning of famine and great death.
So Ezra was seeing this time that we in right now. He said, who gonna deliver me in them days? The beginning of sorrow and great mourning. You know what it means to mourn? It means to cry. Mm-hmm. You're gonna hear grown-ass men crying, women screaming and wailing,
Yep.
children crying,
Yep.
because they ain't ate in 3 days.
Yeah. You know, because it's going to be great death, great famine, great sorrows, because people are going to be seeing their family members die. People that they were really close to die. The scripture says their bridegroom shall go into war.
Mm-hmm.
So
They shall be destroyed in the war.
Oh yeah, kind of.
Which that's another thing too. The other day they just passed the House just passed a bill where they're gonna start automatically drafting. You already in the system, nigga. Mm-hmm. Okay, you ain't going to the NBA, you ain't going to the NFL playoffs, okay, or the NFL combine. You going to war, nigga. Okay, they had it where they can already set it up where they can draft you into war, automatically, and from 18 to 26.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much, you got motherfuckers graduating thinking that they gonna have a whole career or life ahead of them. No, you're getting shipped right off. And they said if you refuse to go, it's a felony.
Yeah, they said that.
Hey, we all gonna be felons, baby. We all gonna be felons.
Right.
But if you refuse to go, it's a felony. Okay, with prison time. All right, and that's gonna scare a lot of people into just submitting and going.
Mm-hmm. Precept.
Hey, you had that with Muhammad Ali in the Vietnam War. He had he got stripped of his title because what? He refused to go to war. He said, I ain't got no problem with the Viet Cong. The Viet Cong doing to me. It's you that did something to me. In my own country, you doing this to me. Jake will go over there into them wars and go fight in them wars, come over here and get still treated like a nigga. Mm. So what you fighting for your oppressors for? When you fucking silly ass niggas, man. When you go to fight in that military, all you doing is fighting for your oppression. All you doing is fighting to stay in slavery. Whether you realize that or not, that's all you fighting for. That's the reality. what the U.S. Army does is it goes all around the world and persecutes these other nations so that they're in subjection, and he keeps everybody in subjection.
Right.
So that's why we're not tripping when we see these nations turning against America, because we know that though they're going to burn this place up, we know the back door. We know Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. We know how the Lord coming. So when they come and blow this place up, that's going to bring in our liberation. Okay? And it's a necessity. Go ahead.
It goes on, it says, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come?
These bad times come, man. Because you see the nigga in the back right there, he hoorah. You silly nigga. You fighting you're fighting to stay a slave. Okay? Brainwash, mind gone. Go ahead. That was it?
Yeah.
All right, let me play this back real quick. So, Lakia, let's play this again so you can get a visual of what we're talking about.
And one generation.
All right, here we go. This is what
The
that
life of a
is.
soldier is not just a job, it's a calling and a sacred tradition passed down from father to son, brother to sister, and one generation to the next. At every hour of danger, our noblest citizens have answered that call. Time and again, our enemies have learned that if you dare to threaten the American people, American soldier will chase you down, crush you, and cast you into oblivion. The last sound you ever hear will be the children's hour platform.
This is the peace president, I'm told, so I would hate to see what a war president would look like.
Hey.
Despite the whole peace through strength Orwellian thing, we get that. Let's hear what else he had.
Yeah, and Trump is the perfect guy. Now you see why they put this man in office. Kamala couldn't do it, you know? Which some nations probably would have made war with America quicker because Kamala, they're not listening to no woman, okay? But Trump is the proud red devil, okay? He's a perfect guy to bring in World War III, and that's why the Lord put him in that seat.
Yeah. And if I may add, you had his you had even these American people have, identify him to be as a tyrant or a lunatic. So him being in the seat that he is now, leaving it to this devil, man, he's gonna, do those things, okay, according to that titles that they have put upon him, man.
Right, and also too, you got those MAGAs that thinks he's the Messiah. You know, they think that he's a Lord. You know, so they gonna rally behind this man, and he gonna send you off to your grave, while he goes and hides in a bunker. You know, the other day, they had spotted the damn doomsday plane. You know, they have an actual doomsday plane where if all hell break loose, Trump gonna get in the plane and it can stay in the air while you getting bombed, while you getting nuked, based off of his pride and how he dealt with these other nations. So when all hell break loose, Trump gonna escape the wrath, man, just to get put in chains. They gonna be in them bunkers. All right.
And lately, I've been noticing. I just seen one of those big aircrafts yesterday. Flying in the air, man. I'm just letting you know that these devils is moving, man. Okay, whatever this devil's doing, all right, it's about to be major.
Well, Trump just had that military parade, and you saw all those military vehicles being moved around the country. They're not taking those back to where they was sitting at. No, they're gonna have them things ready to go.
And they probably used that to bring it here.
Oh yeah, that's what I believe. I believe they definitely did that purposely to set everything up where they want all the equipment at. Because they're saying it was another video I saw today where you had a guy in the military who did a video where he didn't say anything because he's obligated. He can't say anything, but he pretty much let people to believe that. I think it was a caption or something, but it said something about a blackout is coming or something like that, which are saying that Iran, with its insurgents in this country, can do a false flag or something. Some kind of false flag is going to happen, whether it's a 9/11 type of event or where they assassinate Trump or try to again, which Netanyahu said that. Something's going to happen where it's going to be a false flag, and they're going to blame Iran, and that's going to justify them going to war with Iran, just like what happened with Iraq in 9/11. there was no planes that hit those damn towers, man. Okay, there was no, oh, everything burned up, but this little passport from this Al Qaeda, this guy from Al Qaeda. Like, come on, like, people actually believe that shit to this day.
Right.
But that's what justified them going to war over there and destroying millions. Destroying whole infrastructure. That's what justified them. So they're gonna do that again. And these silly Americans are gonna fall for it. They're gonna go for it, and they're gonna end up being destroyed. And we all for it. Hey, let's go.
It's the same.
Thunderous boom of artillery fire from the ferocious roar of the U.S. Army
Look at that thing.
Infantry Brigade.
Look at that thing, man. That thing is the size of the building.
For real.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this man, he has, his blessing was the sword, and he has perfected that sword. All right, he's perfected that sword, man, and he's ready to use it. So now he get to wielding that sword. He gonna go to slashing. Okay, but this time he would not be victorious. Which over time, America's got weaker because what happened when the Vietnam War? They lost that war. They lost that war, man. So, Esau is getting all these weapons, which just came out today too. But the brother put in the chat. Now they got laser weapons, which we already kind of knew they had, but now they got laser weapons on top of their warships.
Oh yeah, on yeah, exactly, on
Yeah.
the warships. Yeah.
That can shoot 6 miles away.
The musical score is epic. The visuals, not so much.
Yeah, the musical score is a part of the propaganda. It's to get you riled up. That's why it says Trump rallies troops for war in insane new video. And as you see him and all those troops in the stands, he was rallying them up to die, sending them off to their death. I saw a video the other day of a woman talking about, what she was eating in the military, and they feeding them good. They fattening you up, like a pig about to get cooked, man. Okay, they fattening you up because you about to get cooked. You about to be over there through. All right, they're trying to put some type of backbone or spine into their troops because they know that they don't want to go to war. They sign up for the military for the benefits, man. A damn brand new Camaro or a scholarship or whatever. But when they find out they're not getting that or coming out of this thing alive, they gonna start going AWOL, man.
Could have done this.
Our adversaries, there's no greater fear than the United States Army. Now it's your duty to shield the flame of freedom that was first lit 250 years ago by the heroes of Concord Bridge and Bunker Hill. Standing before you today, I am more confident than ever that in the days ahead and every generation to come, the U.S. Army will heap glory upon glory. You will protect every inch of U.S. soil, and you will defend America to the ends of the earth.
Wow.
Hey,
You don't have to like the guy, but man, that was one hell of a speech and production. I don't even know if the speech is new, but this video is new. Trump released this triumphant call to arms today on his True Social account. The timing, of course, is incredibly sus, considering the fact that it appears as though they're evacuating embassies in the Middle East. Now, I already did a video on what's going on in the Middle East today, so go watch the previous one if you want updates. I just wanted to talk about this video because, man, this is the Warhawk's wet dream.
Yeah. What y'all got? Somebody grab the least of the plot to draw them out. What you got?
I got this right here, bridegrooms.
What? Bring it out. Beautiful.
This is Jeremiah 15 verse 23. It says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?"
Right, because Esau in America has been a hammer of the whole earth. Pretty much bullying these other nations. That's why they have military bases in these other countries. Now they're telling the people to leave. They're evacuating their bases and stuff because they're about to come down on them bases, man.
Right on his embassies.
Yeah, those U.S. embassies. Which when a U.S. embassy is that's a military infrastructure a U.S. infrastructure. Look how red that guy is in the back. It's a it's a U.S. infrastructure where in any country, once you come on that U.S. embassy, it's like you're in America, in another country. You know, that's that shows you the power this devil has. Go ahead.
It says, "How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?"
Yeah, all this is gonna be for nothing. How has Babylon become a desolation of nations? America is gonna be desolate. It's gonna be destroyed. It's gonna get bad too.
The
You know,
aftermath.
this is gonna be the worst destruction of a land in history. Okay, and then scripture say in 1 hour shall her judgments come. And in 1 hour, this place is gonna be completely consumed with thermal nuclear fire. You know, all these individuals you see on the screen, they're just fuel to the flames. Go ahead.
Count that one out.
Go ahead, what you got, bro?
John.
Grab the least of the flock.
This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16. You know, getting straight to the point, verse 33 says, "The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms.
Mm-hmm.
The woman shall mourn, having no husbands."
Right. The virgin shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn having no husbands. Why? Because they're going to die. Okay, it's going to go on to say it. All these men, you see all those men,
Yeah.
they ain't coming back, man. Some of them probably got babies on the way. Some of them probably just got married, you know, hoping to come back and see, Susie Lou.
And you, I seen this TikTok, and they was basically saying in the comments of this TikTok, you know, because it's talking about the war and World War III is going to happen. They were saying in the TikTok, "Oh, I haven't even got married yet. At least let me get married first." You know, so a lot of them that joined that military, they were seeking for those benefits of that helping hand from Esau
They were trying to seek to save their lives.
to save their lives. You know, to start their family, to have a great future. But now they're starting to figure out they have no future, and now they're starting, you know, panic and regret their decision. You know. But you
Hey,
just-
we got a brother in the camp, brother Yaquab. His mom and his sister just went to the military. You know, and they thinking that they're gonna go in there and get a good career and come out with some money and this that. You're not coming out, okay? You're not coming out. It's over. Go ahead.
It says, "Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers."
Right over there.
It says, "In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed."
In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed. So these were some of these guys were bridegrooms. You know, that's a common thing amongst these troops before they get drafted or sent off. They get married. You know, that's always been a tradition amongst these Americans. Is if they know they going to war, they get married before they go. You know, and hope that Susie Ann ain't cheating on them while they going. You know,
Yeah, they got something waiting at home.
right?
But they ain't going back.
They got something to fight for.
Yeah, they end up going back in a box.
Right.
In an envelope.
Getting mailed back.
They're back.
Damn.
All you get is a dog chain back. It says, I'll read it at verse 34 again. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 34. "In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine."
Right. Yeah, your husband's gonna perish of famine, man. So it's gonna get bad out here. You know, a lot of men are gonna die. That's why the scripture says Isaiah 4:1. 7 women shall take hold of one man. You know, they're gonna be trying to hold. They're gonna be cleaving. Please help me, help me. And her husband might have been in the military and died. 2 weeks prior. She holding on to your leg. Please, oh my God, I need help. I need help. No, we can't help you. Okay. That's it on that.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see that. You can bring it up, bro.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 45. It says, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord. Take heed that he have taken against Babylon and his purposes, that he have purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make them their habitation desolate with them." It says, "At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations."
The whole world gonna go in here and witness this ass whooping America's about to get. But it says, "Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out." Shalom, brother Yahweh Shabbat. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. That's these small hats, okay? they're gonna draw out America. That's what they're doing already. Cause see, Netanyahu, you know, as things is starting to cool down with Palestine, I think of genocide. You know, he got to keep the war going. You know, because if not, he's going to get imprisoned for all his war crimes, right? So what did he do? He initiated hell with Iran, and I got a video I got to post it tonight. Lord, when I post it tonight. But you know, Iran was talking that shit. They was talking like King Von in his prime, man. They said blood for blood. Remember, we didn't initiate it. Remember, y'all initiated it. You know, y'all started this. Because in the back of these nations' mind, they know what they finna do.
Yeah.
They already done met up with the Russians and the Chinese. They already done planned. Okay, what we gonna do is when they try one of us, we gonna jump them.
Hey, you know what's crazy, bro?
Straight up. And that's how it be.
Yeah.
When the nigga tries, we gonna jump him, bro.
You still up? I'm gonna clean him up.
They a lot of people underestimating, you know, Iran right now, you know, because they think, you know, Iran don't have that much strong forces.
They think
but-
it's just Iran.
Yeah, it's just Iran.
Yeah.
But Iran wouldn't be just talking like that if he ain't got nothing under their sleeve, man.
Oh yeah, that's what
You know, they wouldn't just be talking that reckless if they don't got nothing under their sleeve.
What they said the other night?
What?
They said something about.
You going for everyone?
Nah, they said we about to do something that's gonna shake the
Oh,
world
shit.
for centuries or something like
Centuries,
that.
yeah. And like the brother said, they won't be talking big and bad like that for no reason.
Yeah, it says Iranian state TV says that tonight a great surprise will occur, one that the world will remember for centuries. You know, so that's that tough talk they're talking, because you know, which we don't know what that meant or what it's talking about or when it's gonna happen, but we know that we understand prophecy.
And them boys talking they smack, man, and they talking because they finna back it up. Yup. And that's what got these devils moving. Trying to move. What's the word? Carefully. In a way.
Yeah, they're moving with caution because they know that, you know, this could start World War III. China and Russia is backing Iran. They sitting back chilling right now, like, hey, and I saw a video today, the brothers going into it, how pretty much Russia already reached out to Iran and said, y'all need anything? They said, no, we good right now. But when the time come, because you got to think about it, if Iran does have nuclear missiles, they got them from Russia.
Right.
Russia is a guard unto these other nations, man. That's why Russia, they found the article yet?
No, it's the same one.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Because it says something about, they said something about, you know, really it was a threat. You know, Russia warned America pretty much to chill out. Man.
So you want them against Iran?
Yeah, they warned, it said Russia warns America.
Oh, I know. Hold on.
Yeah, you might have to go into the WhatsApp. All right. But first off, finish what you was reading first, though. That's it? Yeah, Russia warns U.S. over Iran. You can read some of that.
It says Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryakov has warned the U.S. that direct military assistance to Israel could radically destabilize the Middle East. Says a statement on Wednesday comes as the region faces an escalating air war between Iran and Israel.
Yeah, and it's escalating. It's getting more intense day by day. Go ahead.
It says the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel is unfolding against a backdrop of long-standing hostility and strategic rivalry.
Yeah, and it's been going on for decades, man. This been going on for decades. This ain't something that just popped off yesterday or 2 years ago. What they said in October. No, this is something that's been going on for decades. Okay, since the 80s, this all been, you know, brewing up.
Yep.
But now it's all coming to a head. Go ahead.
It says any involvement by the U.S., a key ally of Israel, could widen the conflict. Russia stands over the threat to Iran.
And these other nations are seeing how America's bullying people, and they're like, yo, you're not going to continue to be bullied no more, man. because they know if they don't help each other, then they gonna be next.
Yep. It says Russia's stance over the threat to Iran, with which it has a close strategic relationship, signals heightened global concern over the potential for a wider war that could engulf neighboring countries and disrupt global energy supplies.
Yeah, that's another thing too. The gas, like we said, the gas.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't gonna have no. Y'all don't get no, because gas is about to go up like crazy. If it was $75 a barrel, it's gonna be like $300 a barrel, man. Which means you might go to the pump and see like $20 a gallon very soon. You know, people ain't gonna be going nowhere. And this is when Americans. This is when I'm gonna get real for Americans and they realize they effed up. All right, we should have voted for Kamala. No matter who you voted for, it was gonna be the same outcome. All right, throw out for the precepts, bro. I'm gonna grab those too. That was it on that. All right.
Going back to Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45, bringing it back, says, "Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that ye hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans.
Right, which is America. Go ahead.
Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them."
Right. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. This is why Trump did his rally. He's rallying up his troops to be drawn out. You know. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're rallying up their troops so they can be drawn out. And as they draw you out, it's going to be a bloodbath over there. And then, you know, your home country is going to be destroyed. Go ahead.
It says, "At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations."
Because how is America going to be destroyed? With thermonuclear missiles. So at the noise of the taking of this place, Babylon, you know, America, then the whole world is going to witness it, man. The scripture says the earth shall rail to and fro like a drunkard. You know, it's gonna get so bad out here. People are gonna be, you know, the whole world is gonna see it. The whole world is gonna witness it. The whole world is gonna shake.
Can I go up a little bit?
Yeah.
This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 39 says, "Therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell there, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation."
Right. Meaning nothing's gonna be able to live on this land again besides desert animals.
That's right.
From the radiation. It's gonna be a complete wasteland.
Yep.
Okay, and a memorial, okay, of what happens when you go against Yahweh Shem Shai. Just like Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, which was technically 5 cities, you know, that got ruined. Well, and you could go to those lands and still see, you know, the evidence of that great fire that came down from heaven.
Yep.
Same thing is gonna be here in America.
It says that exactly that in
It's the spirit.
verse. It says, "As Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah."
That's the spirit. See, it's all a vibration. It's a wavelength. It's a frequency of the spirit. You see, and the Lord has shined it upon us, and we're grateful for that, because where would we be without it? We'd probably be up there with these guys, face shaved, you know, feeding into the propaganda.
Look at the chin, man.
Big ass chin, Mr. Crimson Chin. Dude finna go over there and get his chin knocked off. Don't even know it. They think they're gonna fight. They think they're gonna win. They think they got a chance. You see, and one thing about it too, Trump and his advisors, all the people in the White House, the motherfuckers that's in the suits, politicians, they know it's over. They know it's through. He rallying you up, and he finna go get on his doomsday plane. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He did all this with intents on hopping on a doomsday plane and going into a bunker.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be able to call Trump and say, "Trump, where you at? We really catch a hell down here, man." Trump ain't picking up the phone. Go ahead.
That's funny. It says, "As Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell there." It says, "Behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall raise up from the coast of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon.
Right, these missiles, man. You read about that in Joel chapter 2 as well. How these missiles are going to be shot off, and it's going to be like a army in the heavens. You know, and they're going to rain upon America. What Thanos said, rain, fire.
Yep.
You know, grab Jeremiah 51 and 28. You go back right here.
This is Jeremiah.
Hold on, let me see what we got on common board. Hey, throw out for the pre-sales, brothers. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now let's grab this. This is Shalom, brother. Yehovah Shemel Shabbat. This is the brother Yazarallah. So I can pronounce your name wrong. GMS Scattered Stone. It says 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 30. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land. Yeah, they coming to completely, and that's what we was going into it too. These nations, they already know what they're gonna do. They already done set down for the means. They already had this thing planned out. They already knew America was gonna come for Iran, so they made allegiance and alliances with Russia, China, and they in the spirit of, hey, when this thing happens, we got your back, okay? You watch my back, or you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. It was the spirit these nations are in. The brother also put Isaiah 14 and 23. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts. Right, the Lord's going to sweep this place, man. He's going to completely destroy this place. All right, and it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. All right, that's why we was going into how there's nothing going to be able to dwell here but those desert animals. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 11, same brother, it says, but the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, the owl also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. And those animals are going to be here eating up all those dead bodies, okay? All that dead, rotten, radiated flesh, okay? As anybody on the shores of America when this day comes, if you're not of the elect, you will be destroyed. That's just it. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, all right? Go ahead, bro.
Precept.
Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead.
This is the book This is the book of Malachi, chapter 1. Let's get into point. Verse 3. It says, and I hated Esau and led his mountains and his hairs waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
Right. The Lord said he hated Esau and laid his mountains and his habitation to waste. This place is going to be a complete wasteland. That's what nukes do. They turn stuff into a wasteland or a desolation, a desert. It's going to be a black desert because it's going to be burnt. And like I said, all those dead bodies, these desert animals are going to be feeding upon them. Okay? The ravens, the what do they call it? The vultures. Go ahead.
Scorpions. It says, I got another one right here. Matter of fact, I could just finish that up. It says, verse 4, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build in the desolate places.
And that's what they did when they came over here to America, stole the land from Gad, and then the Native Americans, okay? I saw a poster brother put up about the Trail of Tears. It was a modern sign that said the Trail of Tears went this route. So they got all these memorials of, and these, signs posted up of what they did over here and how they got this land, That's what they built it up upon. When Rome went down, they came over here and said, we're gonna make a new Rome, okay, with America. And now the Lord is about to tear this place down.
That's right. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
The border of wickedness. Esau is the border of wickedness. this man is a devil. And if you can't see that, if you can't believe it, you will. Okay, he gonna show you he the devil. He's about to act out. He's about to show his horns. That's why they all so red over there. All right. That's why this is why when you look at a cartoon show or a mag anything, they always portray the devil as being red. Okay, because the devil walks among us, and it's these Edomites. All right, they love blood. That's why they eat their steaks bloody. They love blood. They're bloodthirsty. Okay, but the Lord's going to give you unto your own ways. That's it.
It says,
You ain't gotta worry about that. We're gonna be closing out anyways.
come, but that's the point.
Go ahead, bro.
It says, Jeremiah 51 and verse 28. It says, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes.
Right, which is today the modern day Russians. They're preparing with these other nations, including Iran, China. Okay, go ahead.
It says the captains thereof.
North Korea. Okay. They get ready. They all teaming up, man. All right, they're all like best buddies over there. Go ahead.
It says all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant.
Right, and the purpose of the Lord is to destroy America. That's prophecy. If it's prophecy, that means the Lord said it was going to be done, and it's going to be done. His purpose shall be accomplished. Go ahead.
It goes on. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight.
That's why you see these motherfuckers right here with their face shaved. Look at that guy with the glasses. He look like he'll bitch up real quick. When all hell break loose and this thing really get bad, they not gonna want to go out there and fight.
Nah.
So hey, grab that, Bobby Shaw. Yet Durst fight. Go ahead.
It says the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. So they became cowards, man. When it came to the time of fight.
When it came to the get down.
When it came to the get down, a lot of these niggas before they even got into the military, they was always, they thought they was all tough and shit, man. But now once WW3 is starting to spark, now they talk about they ain't get married yet. Now they regretting the fact that, they even went.
Right.
Signed up for it.
Yeah, or even signed up for it, signed a contract. Well, my recruiter didn't tell me this. My recruiter told me we ain't going to war in no time
And the
soon.
recruiter's always telling you that.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're not going to war probably for
We're in
another
the time
100
of peace.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get your ass in there so they going yeah.
Yeah. And what's crazy is, recently in the past year, you've been seeing a lot of ads trying to get you into join the army. Whether it be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all these different social media platforms, you have them trying to advertise it a lot more.
Right.
All right, and that's because they knew.
Right.
They knew what time it was. They knew they about to go into war.
And if I may add too, that's them. That's that scripture again being
Peace and safety.
Peace and safety. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's right, because you said you have it where you sitting here saying, no, we'll probably never see another war in another 50 to 100 years. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and write your name right
When
there.
America's always been in war.
Yeah, so all that's just stating that now they, like the brother said, when it comes to them after getting active, now they all getting nervous. Now they shit nervous and
Palms sweaty.
Yeah, they don't know what to do. They freaking out. Meanwhile, you got these same individuals, okay, on the seas, okay, on boats, goddamn hitting the goddamn soldier boy.
Yeah.
You
They're in the barracks
Yeah.
playing that Eminem song.
Yeah, dancing.
Palms are sweaty. Palms are red.
Yeah. Hey, they nervous, but these Iranians or these Russians, they ain't nervous, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They're battle tested.
They're ready, bro.
They were groomed like that.
See, these Americans, they're not really like, they're eating Captain Crunch and Cinnamon Toast Crunch, on the base, man.
Right.
These other militaries, they're already fighting. They've been fighting for years. They're already battle tested.
Just another day for them.
Right. Another day in the office. That's
They
on
just
that.
clocking in for work for you niggas, man.
Right.
Is it more?
You can see
That was it. Grab that verse 30 in the NLT.
In verse 30 it says, Jeremiah 51 verse 30 in NLT, her mightiest warriors are no longer fight.
Right.
They stay in their barracks. Their courage have gone, their courage gone.
Yeah, their courage is gone, man. Back in the day, them Edomites, they would literally lie about their age to go fight in them wars, man. But now the courage is gone. They want to be on TikTok swinging their hips, man. They rather be here, you know, cut it up with the same sex somewhere. All right, but now it's being required. You got to go out there, okay? You got to go out there and fight for your country, okay? So it's not looking good. These nations, they're not. I mean, these Americans, they're not trying to go out there and fight. This is why Trump had to do this rally and give them some courage. Go out there and defend your country. What the sign said? This will defend.
Yeah.
How you defending your country going across the ocean to somebody else's country? Go ahead.
Yeah. It says they have become like women. The invaders have burned the houses and broken down the city gates.
Mm-hmm. Right. So they become like women. They gonna bitch up. Okay. All this is just a facade, man. These Americans are GMO'd, and Esau destroyed his own military. They're all GMO'd up. I did a video a few weeks ago how, you know, the military is saying how they're gonna, you know, discharge anybody who has the razor bumps, which is Jake. That predominantly affects Jake. So a lot of these Jakes are getting kicked out of the military, and that's a blessing from Yahweh Shem Shai, bro. You got no business shaving your face anyways, like that guy with the big chin. You have no business shaving our faces, joining any military, fighting, you know, Esau's wars.
That's
Okay.
low-key Lord showing you mercy, bro.
Right.
You know?
Right. Because you were misguided to go out there and fight for your oppressor and your oppression. I got something real quick. That's on that.
Yeah.
This is you can break it down. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 3. It says, "And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him." And that's going into Yahweh Shai. When Yahweh Shai make his second coming, he's going to crack the sky in a massive chariot. Okay? It says, "And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire." It's not a literal voice. It's literally the fire that's going to come out of these ships. That's going to emanate out of these. And they showed you that in the movie Independence Day, when that big old ship came over the White House and that concentrated fire came out and burned it up. It exploded. That's real. That's biblical. It says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea," which the sea is talking about the heavens. Okay? The Lord gonna crack the sky, show up, boom, and then what happened? This multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven, meaning it's gonna be these nations' militaries. You know, their air forces, they're going to send out their fighter jets to try to fight against this invasion, I guess you can call it, which they showed you that in Independence Day too, where they had the scene where all the people got into those planes and they went to go fight up against the chariots or whatever.
Oh yeah, and they jets.
Yeah, and they jets. It says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had Salakia." I'm getting a little excited. It says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not." So he was seeing the chariot, and it was so massive and big. Yeah, Ronald Reagan's speech. Yeah, the water, bro. Ronald Reagan's speech. What Ronald Reagan said was showing you how these nations are going to team up together to try to fight against Yahweh Shai. They're going to forget all their differences and try to fight against the Lord, just to get wasted anyways. You know how you play GTA and you die, it says wasted. That's what the Lord about to do to these militaries, man. All right? But this chariot was so big and magnificent, and it looked like a mountain in the sky. He couldn't even see the one end from the other end of it. Okay, it's going to completely black out the sky. All right? So the Lord's coming, he's coming with great power and glory. And the fact they think they can even fight against that shows you these people are through.
Hey, that's the pride of his heart.
It says, And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So they was scared. You gonna have people in them fighter jets. They're gonna be, oh my god, oh my god. They're gonna try to turn around, but the Lord gonna control they vessels and make them come into the fight. The Lord loves a good fight, man.
Make them still.
You know how you in a fight and you punch you in the mouth. You come on.
Yeah.
You know.
Trying to turn up even more.
Yeah. Come on. You know, to get you more hype. So the Lord loves a good fight. He's putting the spirit in the nations to go out there and fight in the war. This is why you signed up for the military. The Lord put the spirit in you to sign up for the military, so you will be in that fighter jet. When He make His second coming, He can eviscerate you on spot. Okay. It says, and yet durst fight. So they were so afraid. They you know, that's why we told you they stayed in their barracks. They don't want to come out. They don't want to fight. They were sore afraid. It says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he's like, they coming against me. He said, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. So the Lord's going to zap them
Yeah, that's
with
like
those lasers from those chariots.
Yeah, that concentrated, fire.
Concentrated fire, right?
Yeah, like you mentioned a little while back. You said like Goku when he
Yeah.
coming hard.
Yeah, I was about to say that. when like you will see Dragon Ball Z, for the brothers that watch anime, when Goku and his sons and they all like will shoot a Kamehameha wave, and then Piccolo would shoot a special beam cannon, and the beams would all mix together to make the fire hotter. Okay, that's what we're gonna do when he come with his power. All right. It says, and burned them up everyone, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So Ezra saw this in the vision of the war in heaven, okay, of these militaries fighting, okay. Brother brought it right here. A hopeful elect, the water, bro. Exodus 15 and verse 3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is His name. So the Lord is all about war. Oh yeah, oh yeah. He can tell you. He can show you all about war. All right. And this is why the Lord got it, where these nations are getting, riled up and doing whatever they're doing, because He's about to make His second coming. So all this is prophetic. They're gonna get, when they get rallied up to go over there, they're gonna gather in the valley of Jehoshaphat and end up being destroyed. Okay, end up being completely consumed. Okay. All right. Let me grab this too. I just brought it out. This is, I believe that's in Jeremiah 2. Let me see, where are we at? Let me see, gather in the valley of Jehovah. Let me see, I think we're just reading that. 1 second. Bear on me 1 second. That's Jeremiah. Okay. We'll close out with this right here. It says, yeah, grab that, Baba Kashan. That's what it is. I'm thinking about Jeremiah.
This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 2. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Right. So the Lord is gathering these nations right now. This is why they're getting rallied up to go over there and fight. They're being gathered. Okay. All these nations, you know, which these other nations as well too. They're all going to go into that land to fight. Okay. Go ahead. That's why they're talking about a draft. Because when they draft you, they're going to draft you out to the Valley of Jehoshaphat over there in the so-called Middle East.
And that's why you got, you know, you have Iran with their comrades, and then you have Israel with the U.S. and their comrades, you know, and everyone's gonna jump into the fight, you know, to stand up for their ally, you know, and that's ultimately what the Lord is doing, all right, to gather you all up in there. And it says right here, going on, it says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel.
So the Lord is he's concerned with Israel. You know, he's gonna gather these nations over in that land. He said he's gonna plead with them, which means to destroy them for it. My people Israel. Okay, he didn't say the whole world. He didn't say all people who believe, all Christians. Let me tell you something too, man. The Lord ain't coming to save no Christians.
Right.
Okay, you're gonna have to come out of that mess, man. All right, and come into the truth. Go ahead.
It says, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Right, because we were scattered in all these nations. So all these nations that gather out there to fight, we were scattered amongst all these nations. Okay? So they all got blood on their hands. Go ahead.
It says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. You know, so they was, casting lots to see who will be their slaves. You know, basically, you know, auctioning out Jake, man.
Right.
All right, selling Jake. You know, and the Lord's, you know, just telling you, you know, this is why, bro, because all the things these devils and these heathens have done unto us, all right, they're gonna have to pay for that, bro. You know, and you got Jake that's going out there into these wars. You know, the Lord's gonna, you know, judge them as well. You know, for, you know, teaming up with the unrighteous.
Oh yeah, the scripture says,
The
though
wicked.
hand join in hand,
Yeah.
The wicked
shall not be unpunished.
Not be unpunished, man.
So
You know.
you ain't, you know, what's the other one? Shall be thrust through.
Oh yeah, kind of. I can get it if you want.
Oh, you grab it. Oh, I got it right here. Let me see. You can finish reading that.
Because, you know, ultimately, it says, bring it back. And I want to bring it back in the NLT. It says, they threw dice to decide which of my people will be their slaves. They traded boys to obtain prostitutes and sold girls for enough wine to get drunk. All right? So,
Meaning they actually traded and bought and you know, made deals off of us, man.
exactly.
You know, they would give a slave for, goods,
Yeah.
you know, and they would trade us for our goods. You know, we was the first ones on the stock market. That's where the stock market comes from.
Yep. That's crazy, you know. And ultimately, that's who Jake is fighting for, is these people, you know, that sold them for wine, you know, and for drink, and prostitutes, all right? And that's why we look at Jake that joins, you know, these militaries as, you know, fools, bro. You know, it says, yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre, and Zidon,
Tyre and Zidon.
Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things.
Which is the Israelites. Okay? You know, the Lord's jewels. Okay? But you also sack the temples as well. You know, you got to pay for that.
It says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border.
Right. That's why they put us on them ships and took us across the ocean. You know? Because they didn't want us to go back to our land. They didn't want us to get our land back.
That's right.
Which that's our land. Okay? Israel is our land, which when we get it back, the Lord is going to consume it. We're going to cleanse it with fire. Okay? Because right now they over there playing with our land. They you know, you got them Amalekites shitting on the ground, you know, doing vile things, man. You got kosher pork over there, you know, having pride parades. You know what? And y'all think these the people?
That's crazy. Actually, I'll go on with this one. It says, "Behold, I will raise them out of the place, brother. Ye have sold them, and return your recompense upon your own head."
And that's what this is payback. Okay? This is payback. Retribution. That's it. Go ahead, bro. You close out with that.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 14. And it shall be as the chased roe,
A chase row.
yep, as a sheep that no man taketh up.
Mhm.
They shall every man turn to his own people.
Right, because all these nations that came into this country to seek a better life, you know, seek an opportunity, they gonna turn back to their own lands and leave America. They already leaving America in droves, man. Okay, they see what's coming. They're going back to their country. So you know, you got our women out here sleeping with the heathen and shit, trying different flavors of the heathen. Not realizing that when all hell breaks loose, they gonna leave you here to die. And then you gonna try to run back to Jake, and Jake gonna say, "Nah, I'm good." Okay, but all these nations, they're packing their shit and they're leaving America. Okay, you gonna have, you know, BMWs going on sale all over, these Facebook marketplace and stuff because they gonna be trying to leave. They're gonna sell everything and leave their businesses, their houses. They're gonna sell everything and leave. Shit, a lot of our landlords is, you know, Elam and shit. They gonna leave, bro. They going back to their country. You know, they gonna leave, and you gonna move on. Oh, you got 30 days to get out. What do you mean? Yeah. Your landlord left. You can't get a hold of your landlord. That nigga on the plane going back to his country because he know what's coming.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And flee everyone into his own land.
That's what they doing. They fleeing into their own land. You know, everybody's going to their own people. And this is why you Jakes should it will behoove you to not be up there and saying hoorah with a bunch of Edomites as they about to go to get turned into, you know, soil. Go ahead.
Verse 15, everyone that is found shall be thrust through.
Shall be what?
Thrust through.
Every one of you niggas that's found with these devils, you're going to be thrust through. Okay? What thrusts through somebody? Bullets. Okay? Swords. Knives. Whatever. Motherfucker have a bayonet at the end of his rifle thrusting your ass. You know? Stabbing you up.
Gutting you up.
Yeah. You know?
And shooting you at the same time.
And shooting you at the same time. Go ahead.
And everyone that is joined into them shall fall by the sword.
Right, all you niggas that join up with us, man, you gonna die with them. Okay? You gonna die with them, man. And this is why we give our people the warning now. They're, hey, snap out of it, nigga. I always think about the movie The Boys in the Hood. He said there's no place for a black man in a white man's war. And that shit stuck with me for the rest of my life. Fuck I like going and join the military for, man. You know? I'm fighting for a country that's just treating me like shit in this country. It's crazy. That's it?
Verse, you want verse 16? I think that's the point.
Okay. No, you go ahead and read it.
Okay, verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished.
Right. So while these guys going off to war, their children going to be getting dashed to pieces, you know. Houses going to be getting invaded. Doors kicked in. Okay. Your wife getting ravished. You know. It's going to get bad here, man. Then you got all these sleeper cells here in this country. It's sending your ass across the ocean. And you know, talking about you defending the country. You can't defend the country if you go across the ocean. You got sleeper cells here. You got, you know, these other nations in here, UN troops here, lodged and ready. You got these Iranian, you know, sleeper cells over here. Talking about they getting ready to do something. You know, they said the same thing that happened in October a few years ago with Israel. They're going to do that here in America. Which that was all psyop and bullshit anyways, but we know what time it is, okay? When you could be in a grocery store and all of a sudden aisle 3 blow the fuck up. People running like chickens with their heads cut. This is the time we're in. At any moment, anything can pop off. All hell could break loose at any moment. So repent. Okay, pray. You know, pray for mercy. Pray for Yahweh Shimon Shada to sup with you and deal with you more, because we're going to need the Lord in these times we're coming into. It's about to get very, very ugly, very bitter, very uncomfortable. That's all I got, though. Y'all got anything else?
Hey, that's it.
So there you go. That's the gospel. That's the spirit, man. We pray it's edifying to the hopeful elect, The water for joining in. The water for all the precepts. Shalom, Kol Halal,
Yahweh,
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, HaKadosh. I want to give double honors to our teachers, our elders and apostles, the great millstone who taught us his truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom.
Shalom.